everybody, how are we all again today? It's the second video I'm doing today back at work, so I've got to get it all done. I hope you guys are all well, and I hope you enjoyed my last video. So that's good, because that is part of what I'm going to do today. So I have done an envelope, but I'm going to be calling it a pocket. So it's not going to be an exciting envelope, although it is exciting. So it's more an exciting pocket. So let's have a look and see what we've done. Now, I will say I've seen lots of people being doing pockets, loaded pockets and things. But I wanted something that we can use in our journals. So I've sort of taken and done my own version of what I've seen. So I can't specifically name anybody other than Amity Bloom. So I would say that that's probably been my inspiration, if anything, today. So let's have a look and see what I've done. Now, a lot of blues, a lot of lovely colours that I love, calm, beautiful, cool colours. And I've quite enjoyed putting this project together. I have used a lot of wallpaper, because I do have a hell of a collection of wallpaper, which I love, and I don't like parting with, really. So I have used that. But I've also used a couple of bits from Amity Bloom, which I've had for a long time, and I will put the links in the description box below. All right, so this is what I've put together, and I have used an envelope, and I'll go through the ins and outs, because we'll be putting it together. So it does have a little hinge at the back here. So this would go onto your page like that, and you'd be able to lift that up like that. So let's have a look what I've got inside here. So there are a lot of pockets in here. So yeah, lots of pockets. I think it's passion of pockets today. So we've got a little pocket in the front here with a little bit of embossed, nearly said fabric, paper. And I've got a tiny little tag in there. That came from one of my envelopes that I made. I kept the circle. So that's what that is. Got a little card. This comes from Amity Bloom. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Love that. Here's a little stamp. I know that was from chapter 1. That's in the first little pocket there. So that goes all in there. Of course, we have to have a butterfly, so there it is. Then we've got another pocket behind here, and you would have seen me talk about this on my last video. Just made some simple tags, which I really love. Being able to use my really old antique typewriter to type these up. And then I've used my wildflower dies, and as I said to you, I've used watercolors to sort of decorate them up a little bit. So this is wallpaper. All right, and I've just backed it onto tea stain paper. So I really like those slim tags, but really very pretty. So those go into that pocket over there. Then over here, if I just turn this around this way, I've got two little, I've got another pocket in here and two little pockets in those pockets. So it's like an endless pocket extravaganza. So let's look at the back pocket. This is the inside of the envelope. And here I've made a little envelope. So bloom where you're planted, wallpaper, lace, scraps of paper. You open that up like that, and you've got a nice little envelope to put anything in. So that's what I'm putting inside of the envelope there. And then what I've done is I've made this little pocket, which was the sort of subject of my last video, and I've loved putting these together. So I'm going to use this to go inside my pocket. So I've made this little tag. So inside the pocket, we've got more pockets. We've got a little tag going in this front pocket there. And we've got a little tag going in with all sorts of collages of scraps I've got into the back pocket over there. And there behind, you can see I've just decorated that tag up with some more of those wildflowers, which I've just adapted with the watercolors and put on a beautiful variegated bow. These come from Plum Boutique, so I bought those a while back. So we've got pockets, within a pocket, like that, within a pocket. So lots of pocket explosion going on here. All right, and then this one I've made from vellum, and it's got a little pocket over here with 2 bits and pieces, a little card from Amity Bloom, and another little pocket with 2 pieces from Amity Bloom, which I've had this for a while, and this is fairly new, so I love that. Find your voice within these pages, within the pages. So that was really lovely. Okay, so this actually I was inspired to make for with something she did on her, this bit here. So we've got lots of pockets within pockets within pockets. Those all go in over here. And that's our little pocket extravaganza going on here. And if you have a look at this, I'll show you briefly at the end how I would actually lay this up into a page on my journal. So I will mock that up at the end for you. All right, so let's get going and let me show you how I've made this, and hopefully you'll join along and do it with me too. So let's put this somewhere, put it there. Right, so the first thing you're going to need is an envelope. Now, I'm working with envelopes that I've got, so I'm trying to work down. I've got these really big ones. This is a 9" by 6.5 or 23 by 16.5. So I've got these. So what I did was I just folded it in half like that, and I cut it in half. So that is what we're going to do, and then you'd be able to make 2 pockets. If you've got one that's smaller or a different size or a mailer, please use it. I'm just using what I have on hand, trying to whittle down the stuff that I do have rather than going to find something else. So that's the point of this, is to use up scrap. So I'm on a bit of a scrap reducing mission at the moment myself, so turning in all our piles of scraps into pretty little goodies for our journals. All right, so first thing, we want to cut that in half. I've done that already. I just wanted to show you the size of the original envelope, and here is the half of the envelope like that. So this one is going to open up on this side like that. So you would have one that different sides. So that's the first bit there. And then what I did was I took a piece of this, which is just an old one of Amity Bloom's printables, and as I said, I will link those down in the description box. And I just cut out a piece from the scrap pile there, and I'm going to stick that down onto this here. So we're going to do that, and then I'll show you how I go about doing the rest of this. Now I'm going to sew around this, so I'm not really too worried about the glue, but if you're not and you don't have a machine, that's absolutely fine. Just stick it down and make sure you go close to the edges. So I'm going to do that quickly, just make sure I get it in the right spot. Trying to go close to the edge of the opening, because you want to reinforce that edge as much as possible, because envelopes aren't always the thickest paper. Okay, so that's what I did there. Now, because I wanted to stitch around this, you want to stick on the back as well, but I do want to stitch over this side here. So what I'm going to do really quickly is grab my bone folder, and I'm going to just disassemble this envelope. So it is easier for me, I find, just to open the envelope up when I'm wanting to stitch. If you're going to glue and you're not stitching, you don't need to do this. But for me, I do want to go past the opening, and if I don't do that, then we will be sewing the opening together, which I don't want. All right, so I've now got that open like that, and I am now able to go and stitch that around that, which is what I will be doing in a second. So let's just put that bit to the side. And then what I wanted to do was I cut another scrap that I had, also from Amity Bloom, and I'm going to put that on the side opposite my opening. So you could put it there, but I just wanted to put it opposite. because that's how I'm going to layer this up. So we're going to stick that down, and then it was a case of having another little piece for another pocket. So I'll probably turn that around, and then have this bit like that. And then I took a little bit of paper, embossed it. It was a scrap I had, and I just made that for the front pocket. So what I'm going to do is quickly, I'm going to just take my glue, and I am going to just glue quickly the edges just to keep it in place for the most part, because I will be stitching this quickly as well. And again, you don't need to do that, just glue it down in place and that would be sufficient. So we want to just make sure we match that up nicely. Just use my fingers there. And then this little one, again, like that. And that's going to go on the bottom like that. Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stitch around the edge, the perimeter of that one, and I'm going to stitch right round the perimeter of that one, and we will be back. Right, so here we go. I've just stitched right around the perimeter there, and then, as I said, right round the perimeter there. So that's just for decorative interest, and it's just my style, and of course you don't need to do that at all. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to just glue around the three sides here, and we are going to make another pocket with this. So this is the bit that I don't want to glue, so it's easier for me to hold that side so I get it right. And then we're just going to glue that pretty well along there, and then up this bit here. Okay, you could use double-sided tape as well, so nothing wrong with that. Okay, so this is the side that I want open. So this is the side I'm going to stick this down. So just get that positioned nicely. And then we can stick that down like that. Okay, so you got your opening over there. Right, so we'll leave that to dry. While we're leaving that to dry, I'm just going to run the glue over the flap where I deconstructed it. So let's close that up again. Okay. All right, so we'll come to the rest of that in a minute. All right, so far so good. And while that's drying nicely over there, we're going to do the rest of the little bits. So we're going to show you quickly the little glassine pocket. Now what I did was, and I'll give you the measurements for this. What I did was I cut this out, which was the width of the page. So we're looking at 8 1/4 here, but you could do 8 1/2 or whatever you have for the width of your page. That was the width of my page. And then what I did was 8 1/2 inches is 21 centimeters. So that's the width of an A4. And then I made it 7 1/2 centimeters, and it should be 3 inches wide. All right, so that's what I've done with that. Let's just put that down. And then what I'll need it again now. Oh yeah, and then what I did was I folded that in half. So it's just a case of folding that straight in half. Use your bone folder, and the material I've used for this is printed vellum. You could use printed greaseproof, plain vellum, plain greaseproof, water, wallpaper, printed digital, it doesn't matter. So use what you have. So I folded it completely in half, and then just an inch from the top, or 2.5 centimeters, I have folded that over like that, and just use my bone folder like that. So now you're going to have a pocket over there and a pocket over there. Okay, so that's what I've done there. It's as simple as that. I'm quickly, if you're going to glue it, then glue it down these two sides here. And then, of course, this little bit here and this little bit there. But I am going to stitch it, so I'm going to just stitch it down there and stitch it down there. But as I said, if you're going to glue it, it's there and there. And then, of course, just from this bit down on each side, just to keep it closed. All right, so I'm going to do that quickly. All right, so there I've done it. I've just stitched down the side there and down the side there. And now we have our little pocket there. And our little pocket there. So we've got that, and that's really cute. And I love how she made these, and I thought I would use it in this little loaded pocket business as well. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to just add a few decorations on here. So it was really sweet and simple, nothing fancy. I've taken one of the cards that are in one of Nazy's kits, and I'm just going to stick that on the front over there like that. So not all the way down, because it'll go, I want to use the underneath flap as a pocket. So I'm just doing it 2/3 of the way there, like that. And I'm going to just stick that over there like that. Okay, so we still can use that as a pocket, as you'll see now. So what I've got is, I've just got a chapter 1 little label, and I think this is a calico collage kit that I had. And I'm just going to shove those two bits underneath there, just because they go so nicely, and picked up the colour scheme I was working on. Then what I'm going to do is, I've got 2 of these Botanical cards, again from Amity Bloom. I've cut them out, printed on card, and I'm going to put those in the back, in here in the pocket. And then she's got these beautiful journaling prompts. Journal your daily life for you. So I quite like that. I liked a bit of text coming out, and I'm going to just push that in like that. Okay, you could make your own journal prompts. You don't have to go and buy all the bits. This is what I have already. I didn't buy anything now. This is from ages ago. Okay, so there's our little pocket all ready to go. I'm going to turn this around because I quite like that bit of stitching sticking out there like that. So that's ready to go, and in fact that would be ready to go into our little pocket just like that. So we've got the first bit done. Right, now the next bit I have already done, and I have a video on how I made these little pockets, so I'll link that below. And really easy, such fun to make. So if you want to see the detail for that, go and have a look at that. And I thought it was great to go into something like this. Now this would also make a great happy mail for somebody, and they could put it straight into their journal as well. So that's always great. Lots of bits and pieces here, but it's all in the video. And then I've made a little tag. You all know how to make tags. And then, as I said, just with a small little tag with little bits on there. And this little one, which is just a scrap of embossed paper and all sorts of bits and pieces, and I've put inspire and another little tag. So yeah, lots of tags, lots of pockets today. All right, so that's going to go into that little pocket there. And then again, that's from Plum Boutique, and I love the bows there. All right, so that's going to go into this bit over there. And I think what I should do before I'm sticking all of this down is find something to go onto the back. So we need to put something on the back here. So let's get that. Right. So here we've got a piece that we're going to just stick on over here like that. Just be mindful of this area here. You want to just keep it. You don't want to glue this section down. You won't. Just put a little bead of glue at the top there, like that. and then leave a space for the opening, because you don't want to make it smaller than you need to, because we want to fit in our envelope over there. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down like that. Okay, there we go. And now you can write on that area as well underneath. Okay, so that bit's done. I've got a little thread sticking out here, which is annoying. There we go, all gone. So we've got all of our pockets now. We can start finishing that up. So we've got our little vellum one that's going to go in there. We've got our little mini pocket that's got a lovely tag in that can go in over here. And then what we're going to do is, we've got our 2 tags that I've made, again, with some little sentiments on the front there, again from wallpaper. So I want to put those in the back over here like that. Oops. And then I want to just decorate up the front over here. So I had my little butterfly and I wanted to get a little bit of green. So I've just got a little bit of green wallpaper that I'm not going to tear it, I'm just going to cut a little bit like that. And I'm going to stick that down like that, and then I'm going to put my butterfly over there. Don't want the wings to go off, so I'm just checking. Right, so there was a bit of a bubble in the glue. I thought it was going to like really come out very fast. The first time I ever used this glue, it did come out very fast and I got quite a fright. But I do find that it's different on different types of weather. If it's really cold, it works better, but if it's really hot, it does become more runny. I don't know if you guys have found that. So on those really hot days, it was very runny. So thank heavens for the little nozzle. Right, so we've got that over there, and then I'm going to just put a dab of glue on it like that, and I've just got a tiny little flat based pearl that's going to go on the front over there. So there's everything there. So it's just a case of putting some bits and pieces. So I've got this little piece that came from my chapter 1 envelope, as I said when I was making them a few back, and I kept the circles, so I've just stuck that all down, put a little eyelet in and a little bow. Used one of those little sentiment cards, and I'm going to stick that in there. Then I'm trying to bring the pink and catch on the pink, so I've taken a stamp, sandwiched it between a piece of tea stained paper, my hands are full of glue, and then just stuck in a little piece of chiffon ribbon at the back there. So just wanted a bit of pink repeating itself. And then this little bit just goes in the front like that. So it's coming together nicely now. So there we have everything for the front pretty much. So all that remains to do is to put together our little envelope for the back here. So I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute while I'll show you how I did that. So taken a piece of my wallpaper. Now, talking about wallpaper, if you go to any of the places, I know in the UK, B&Q or any of the places, you sort of DIY stores, you can pick up lots of samples of scraps. They often have them there for you to take a sample, and even if you look at some of the sales, you can get some really good deals. So, you know, wallpaper is great to work with, and it's really sturdy, and I love the sort of ivory tones underneath. So that's what I've done here. I've taken this piece of wallpaper, like that, and I have just folded it up. So if I give you some measurements, because I know someone will ask me, the length of this is 8 inches, so you're looking at 20.5 centimeters, give a few more, and it is just short of 13 centimeters, or just over 5 inches wide. So 8 by 5 or 13 by, what did I say, 20.5. So that's what we're looking at here. So I have made a fold at the 7.5, so 3-inch mark, and then again we have 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters for the top flap. So that's what I've done there, just to make the envelope fit into our little pocket. So that's what I'm going to do. And then what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to just stitch across there. You don't have to do this, you can just glue this on these two sides, probably quicker. And then I'm going to just stitch like a U shape over there. I'm not going to stitch there because I'm going to stick things on top of it. So let me do that quickly and I will return. Right, so here we have it. I've stitched straight across there, and then you can see I've stitched straight down and on those 3 sides, just like that. Okay, so we've got that sorted, and then what I want to do is I've just got a piece of old lace, and I'm going to just stick that down across there like that. So you've seen me do this many a time. I'm going to actually use my Fabri-Tac. Right, so let's just put some of that, because this is a really good glue for fabric and paper. So we just want to put that on quickly. Okay, bend that down and get that on there. So that's great. And then what I did was, let's put that on there. I've just taken a scrap of paper, blue, I was looking for blue, and I've just made a paper ruffle. So I've just, if I show you how I do that, it's just a case of going like this, if you're new, and then stitching. Now I have previously hand stitched that, which looks really pretty if you don't have a sewing machine, but it is time consuming, so I have actually just stitched with my machine. So that's what I've done there, and I've torn the paper so that it gave it a little bit of a rustic look. So I'm going to just stick that over the top there like that, and it doesn't matter that it's slightly away. I'm going to stick a butterfly there. So again, I'm going to just take my Fabri-Tac and I'm going to just put that all over the back here. Oops. Right, so we're going to just stick that down there and across there like that. Oh, somebody's dog's barking. Right, so that's where we are at the moment. And then all I did was I just took a butterfly, which I thought went really well, and a little pearl like that, and stick that down, and then put my little pearl on the top, just like that. Okay, so while that is all doing its thing, what I did on the front was I took another plain label, so I'm going to just stick that down over there, and I wanted to bring some of the blue into it a little bit more, the sort of duck egg blue, so I'm just going to have that sort of sticking out a bit there as well. So let's get that stuck down. So just a little scrap I've torn off of the wallpaper. Now whatever colours, you don't have to be making what I'm doing, you can use your own colours. Just stick to 2 or 3 colours and repeat what you're doing, and you'd have a beautiful project. I've just gone through the scraps, looked for the ones that are sort of worked well together, and I've pulled those out and worked with that pile of colour. Not really, you know, just to keep the rhythm going with the colour, kind of, so to speak. It's just, yeah. Okay, so we've got that little label there. And then again, I've used my typewriter and just typed out this little sentiment, beauty surrounds us. So I like that, because it does. Even the weeds are beautiful, aren't they? It's just how you look at them. So there we go. I've got all of that sorted like that. Oops. I'm going to just stick that over here. Just like that. Okay, so there's the front done. And now what I'm going to do is I just want to, so we've got that bit done. I just want to put a few things on the back here, nothing fancy. Let's put this back in there. So I just stuck a stamp on the back here. Okay, so we're going to put a stamp over here. So it's one of my chapter 1 ones. And I'm going to put just a little flower that I fussy cut out over here. And I'm going to just cut that off at that point like that. So just bring a little bit of excitement onto the front of it. And, you know, keep the blue going on throughout the sort of envelope. Okay, so we've got that done like that. Pretty. And then I'm going to just stick the stamp down. I've got a bit of blue and green in here, so that's easy. That's pretty. It works well. And stick that down. And now, of course, last thing to do on here is just to get one of my stamps, which is a one I've had from I don't know where for the longest day, the longest time. Just take that over and shove that on there like that. So it just gives it a bit of authenticity. Okay, so there we go. So that's everything there while that's drying quickly. I'll let that dry, and I'm going to take the other one. So I'll put that in there in a minute. So I just want to show you now how I go about putting that all on a page. So here we have our actual page like that. And then what I did was I've printed out a piece of vellum with that pretty little floral print on there. And I'm going to stick that down. But what we want to do first is take our flap here and stick that down. So we want to get that so that it's going to just go over the edge of the page. So I hope you can see that. So let's move that down a bit. And we put some glue on here. Like that. And then we will just match that up to the top of the page. Like that. I'm just holding it with my fingers. Okay. Like that. And then we can pull that bit off. Do it this way. And then we can stick our piece down. So that's the right way. And those will dry away. And then what I did was, I just want to move that way for a minute. Put a little bit more glue just under this bit here. There we go. And then what I did was I just cut out from that wallpaper another one of the wildflower dies, 2 of them that I'm just going to put over just in the corner here. Okay, and then I do have a little bit of washi that looks like this, and I'm going to just stick that straight across like that. Just also gives me peace of mind that it's not going to lift. And then I printed out all these that I've done on my typewriter, and I just want to choose one, and it's going to be this one that I've done. So if you've got a typewriter, go and do that, because I'll tell you, I do like the look. Okay, so just tear that with your fingers, like that. And this is why I've always got inked fingers. Can't win, can you? Glue, ink, by the end of it I'm like really colourful. Then I'm just going to stick that on there, and I know it's just a little thing, but I think it just lifts it. A little bit of script, you know. And I'm going to just put that over the edge like that. So there, that's how the page is going to be. And then if we bring that over like that, you can see you've got everything in your pocket. Like that. So I hope you can see that. All right, so it's going to lift up like that. And I think that's really pretty. So let me know what you guys think as well, you know. Lots of pockets and exciting hidey places in there. So I think it makes a great addition to any page. You can stick that in a bit more, really. It does go in more. So how you want to pull these in or out is really up to you. So that's how I would do it on a page. So I thought I'd share that bit with you today, because I often don't get to that point. All right, so if we go back to our other one, we've got that's all nice and dry, and that's all finished. And then we would just stick that in there like that. And there we have another one of those, and that one I would put on a page that's going to open that way, because that's where that part is. So there we have it, ladies. I hope you've enjoyed that time with me today. It's been great fun, and I love the colors of this, and I hope that you're going to have a go at this as well. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it, because I've really enjoyed it. And thank you so much for spending the time with me. It's been amazing as always. And until next time, I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.